Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Taj, and I am back today with some more free tea. But before we jump into this tea, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload a video. As you guys can see, I am back out here in nature, surrounded by all of this greenery, and my heart chakra is just bursting. I also brought my baby with me today, my rose quartz. I was leaving the house and I turned around, to make sure I had everything I needed. And my rose quartz was just like calling out to me, like, take me with you, take me with you. So I brought my rose quartz with me today for just a little extra tender love and care. But today I wanted to talk to you guys. It's kind of like a story time, I guess. But I did record this podcast on my podcast. So go and subscribe to my podcast as well on any listening site: Apple, Google Play, Spotify, SoundCloud. It is free tea. And subscribe to my podcast because I do post to my podcast. I want to say every Sunday. We're gonna say every Sunday, since I post here on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. But yeah, go and subscribe to my my podcast. I'm getting distracted because I got messages coming down. But okay, so anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about this dream that I had. I had a dream. And basically the moral of the dream was the impossible is possible. Now, I don't know if you guys believe that dreams, like when we dream certain things, dreams have we dream because that's kind of like our souls or our subconscious way of giving us information that we're not necessarily receiving, or we are receiving when we are awake. So anyway, skip all that. Let's just go right to the dream. Okay, so I had a dream that a few of my friends and I, and also people who are friends in my head, like people that I follow on YouTube that I really I guess admire their work and their creativity and their content. People like Evelyn from the internet. So if you guys don't follow her, like, she's one of the best content creators on YouTube in my personal opinion. But she was in the dream. There were so many people in this dream. And so we got to this house, and I guess because it's October, I was kind of, having like this I don't want to say Halloween dream, but it was like a dream where we were going into this big, huge mansion, and this mansion was like an obstacle course. And we had to move through the house or the course by holding on to these floating objects. So, like, for example, one of the objects that was floating, and it was like, okay, so say for example, we're on the first level of the home, and each level of the house, the obstacle courses became more difficult to get through, okay? But it's like, so imagine that we're in this house, and it's like you're going down a hallway. You know how a hallway is, and it's like on either side there's a wall, because it's a hallway. Well, it's like on either side of us in this home, there were these floating objects, and we had to hold on to these objects that were floating and without falling. Okay, so once you fell, regardless of what level you were on, let's say if you made it to level 5, and if you fell, you went all the way back down to level 1. You had to start over. So in the dream, I think there were like 10 levels. And how ironic is that? The fact that this is the 10th month, October, and I've been seeing the numbers 1010 for like the past few weeks, I know. So the house had 10 levels, and once you got to the top, you had conquered the obstacle courses. But so the higher up we got, the more difficult it was. So the objects that were floating were household objects. So one of the objects I remember vividly was like a dresser drawer. And you know how if you take the drawer out of the dresser, you just have like the wooden planks that you're supposed to stand on. So it's like we had to put our feet inside of the planks and hold on and like be able to straddle and make it to the other part of the obstacle course, which was like, it could have been like an oven or a sofa, but you had to figure out a way to hold on to these objects that were floating in order to make it to the next level. And again, like I said, each level got harder. So I was the last person in line. There was like, I don't remember how many people, but there was a lot of people with me, okay? Like I said, friends that I grew up with. Some of my cousins were with me in the dream, and random people like Evelyn from the internet was there. But I was the last person in line, and I was not only last, but I was moving the slowest. Like, I was moving at the slowest pace because, again, like I said, these objects were floating, and in real life, I don't really do heights like that. Like, I don't be messing with heights. I don't do roller coaster, none of that. Up high, I don't do heights unless I'm in an airplane. But so I was moving extremely slow, and I just charged it to my fear. Like, oh, I'm scared, so that's why I'm moving slower than everybody else. When in reality, if we want to parallel the dream back to my real life, okay, I feel like myself, in comparison to all the people that were with me, I would consider myself, a late bloomer, or I move at a slower pace than everybody else. And when I say that, I mean, like, I'm 34, right? Okay. And so a lot of my friends are already married. A lot of them already have children. A lot of them are, in their career already and have been. And although I was in my career as a classroom teacher for nearly 10 years, I walked away, and now I'm starting from the bottom, like in the dream, like in the house. So I'm starting from the bottom. I'm starting from scratch. And so I think that's also symbolic to why I was at the end of the line. So anyway, we're moving through this obstacle course. Like I said, everybody was in front of me. They were moving kind of fast enough for them to kind of get out of my sight at a point. I couldn't see anybody. I was just by myself, and that's how slow I was moving. And so I just remember moving so slow. I was so scared. And as I got to the levels that started to get more difficult, I remember thinking to myself, okay, because I was so scared that the objects in the dream that were floating were not sturdy enough, or they didn't have the capacity to hold my weight, right? And so that was one of my fears, when really, and see, that's how fear will trick you, make your false evidence appearing real. Okay, that's fear, because the people that were in front of me, some of them physically weighed more than I did, but they had already bypassed a lot of these floating objects and made it to the next level. Meanwhile, I'm still here thinking, oh my God, I don't think this is gonna hold me. Like, I'm too heavy. This is gonna make me fall. Now keep in mind, in the dream, I did fall a few times, but before I fell, I had such a fear of falling, because I thought, like at one point, I think I was like on the 5th level or something. And, if you're into numerology, the number 5 can be like a challenging number, a number that brings about change and challenges, okay? But I think I was like on the 5th level, and I ended up thinking like, oh my gosh, if I fall, because the objects are floating. So I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, if I fall, like I'm gonna die, because who can fall from a 5-story home and survive? But I fell anyway, and I realized like, oh, I didn't die, I just fell, and I'm at the bottom, and now I have to start over. Okay, let's parallel that again to my real life. Before walking away from my job, I had so much fear that, if I walk away or if I start over, then, I don't know. There was just this fear. So that dream also, that part of the dream also was symbolic to my real life. But I fell, meaning, okay, I'm starting from scratch, but I had the opportunity to start over. So anyway, I started over, and, I'm going. And I think this time I got to level 6, and I was so scared. Now keep in mind, everybody that I came here with to this obstacle course, in my mind, they're long gone, because I can't see them. Not only can I not see them, I've fallen, so I've put myself even further back, and I'm just going through this alone. So I'm scared, I'm trembling, because the higher I would get, the more afraid I would become. And so when I got to level 6, I thought, okay, since I fell the first time on level 5, now that I'm on level 6, and I still feel like I was still questioning, like, are these objects going to be able to hold me or not? Do I weigh too much? So I started to, in the dream, release and take off things that I felt weighed me down. So I remember kicking my shoes off, like, nope, that the shoes are adding weight. I started to remove everything, shoes, jacket, everything down to the bare minimum, where I just still had on clothes, but no shoes, no jacket, no purse. I had dropped everything and allowed it to just fall to the wayside. Now, parallel that to my real life, this is me recently. I have let go of any and all baggage that I felt was keeping me away from reaching my greatest potential, whether that was drinking, and I wasn't a huge drinker, but I would have wine. But it's like I let that go. And this part of it, I don't want you guys to think like I'm okay, whatever. Let me just tell the story. So anyway, in my real life, I've let go of things that I felt were weighing me down. Okay, so that part of the dream was symbolic to how I've been letting go of things that no longer serve me in my real life. So as I'm letting these things go, I had let it all go. And so I'm feeling a little bit more confident now at this point to continue to move through these floating objects. So I come to a lady, and she looks like a Korean lady, and she started speaking to me in Chinese. And now in the dream, I'm knowing, like, okay, I don't understand Chinese, like, what are you trying to say? But for whatever reason, I was able to like interpret her energy to understand what she was trying to tell me. And she was basically saying like it's okay, like, you got it, like, what are you scared of? It's possible for you to make it to the top. It is very possible. And I just was, I just had so much fear on my face, just holding on to these floating obstacles for dear life. And I'm looking at her like, but I don't know if these things can hold me. And she looked at me and she said, but you've released all the baggage. You've released everything that could possibly weigh you down. There's literally nothing stopping you from getting to the top, from getting to level 10. The only thing that's stopping you is you. And it's your belief that you reaching the top is impossible. And she asked me in the dream, she said, do you believe that it's impossible for you to reach level 10? And I was like, I don't know. I was just so scared. And she was like, if you just let go of the fear. And she started pointing out to people. She's like, those people, they were your friends. She was speaking Chinese, but I'm just telling you because, again, I didn't know Chinese. But I knew that she was saying, like, your friends who have gone before you, those are your friends, right? And I was like, yes. She was like, some of them, they didn't release any baggage. Like, they still have their shoes, they still have their purse. And not only that, some of them are a lot heavier than you are in physical weight. And these obstacles that you're afraid that won't hold you, they will, because they held them. And so it's almost like she was helping me remove this fear that I had to keep going, because that fear was going to make me fall again, because my hands and my palms were sweating. I didn't have a good grip. And that's all because I was just scared. So anyway, I listened to her and I was like, okay, you're right. She started to talk some sense into me about the fact that, and made it clear, because again, like I said, the fear had my vision all clouded and I couldn't see for looking, that dang, she's right. Like, I've released all this stuff, and I do way less than some of the people who already went through these courses. So I was like, dang, okay. It was like a realization, like I don't know, a light bulb moment. But it took for this Korean lady, and in the dream, it felt like, it almost felt like when I was at that point of falling again, it's like God sent this angel to remind me and to remove this fear away from me so that I can see the truth of the situation. So once I was able to see the truth of the situation, thanks to this Korean lady in my dream, I found myself just like moving through these obstacle courses and these floating objects, like with such ease and rapidness. Like, I was gone. And before I knew it, I hadn't even realized that I had bypassed everybody that had came in with me, and I'd made it to the top. So once I got to the top level 10, I was just like ecstatic, okay? Just ecstatic, overcome with all this joy. I was so happy. I was standing at the top of the roof, like with my arms held up, my head tilted back, just thanking God, like, oh my God, thank you. I made it. And so as I'm at the top of this roof, and keep in mind, I'm on level 10, and I'm on the roof, and I'm looking down, I can just see all of like our cars and, the parking lot and everything down below me. And I just felt like I was on top of the world because, again, this was a dream. And oftentimes in dreams, things appear a lot bigger. There's more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but everything is just kind of amplified. Okay. So everything was bigger and larger and taller. So I'm on top of this building and I just start yelling like, I did it. What I thought was impossible was possible. What I thought was impossible was possible. And I said that because when we first entered the home, to do this course, the people who were running it, we had to turn in tickets and pay and all that. And they were making statements like, people they don't make it past level 5, or, people don't make it past level 8. Only a certain percentage of people actually make it to the top. Because apparently at some point of the home, you could choose to, not go any further. I think when you got to like level 8 and it started to get like really, really difficult, you had the option to be like, okay, I opt out. I don't even want to try to go up. Like, I made it to level 8. Let me just get my little level 8 medallion and go about my business, And so I'm at the top of the house. I'm on the top of the roof, and I'm just y'all, I just felt so good. I felt so accomplished. Like, I did it. And I remember just saying, I did it. So I jumped around for, I don't know, what seemed to be probably 5 minutes or so, like yelling, like, I did it. What y'all said was impossible was possible. What y'all said was impossible was possible. And as I'm on top of this roof, I felt the Korean lady's energy with me, because had it not been for her, helping me remove this barrier of fear and to see the situation for what it was, and to really give me that extra boost and encouragement to keep going and to just endure, I probably wouldn't have made it to the top. So I felt her energy still with me at the top, and I was just so happy. And so, as the excitement kind of died down and I'm looking around, and there were other people on the roof too, but I didn't see any of the people that I came with. I didn't see any of my friends, any of my cousins, any of that. So I'm like, where are they? And so one of the people at the gate were like, oh, they stopped at level 8. They got off at level 8. And I was like, what? No, they have to make it to the top. Now, keep in mind, when you went back down, imagine going up an obstacle course, okay, holding on to floating objects, going up. Climbing up is one thing. Going down, that's a whole nother ball game. So they were like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to go back down? Like, you thought it was hard getting up to 10. It's a slippery slope going down. And I was like, oh yeah, I can do it. I got this. And I was like, and I already fell anyway. I think I'd fallen like twice prior to me even reaching the Korean lady. But I was like, I've already fallen before, so if I fall, I'll just get back up like I did the last 2 times and climb again. But I'm going back to get my friends so that they can come and enjoy this top view and just can enjoy this excitement of being able to say, I did the impossible. So I was determined. So y'all, I went back down that obstacle course, because keep in mind, they were on level 8. Some of them were even on level 6. I didn't even know that I had passed them. Like, that's how determined and motivated and focused I was going through to make it to the top. So anyway, long story short, I went back down one by one, and that was conquering a fear in it all in itself. And that again was me doing what most people had not done via the people who work there. Like, not many people go back down, because there was another way that you can go back down to get to the entrance, to get to your car and to leave, but to go back down to get people, you had to go back through the obstacle course. So anyway, I ended up doing that, going to get them one by one. I went and got each person that I came with, and I took them back to the top, level 10, and I was like, okay, you stay here. I'm going to go back down and get this person. And I went back down and got that person, and we came back up. And as I did that each time, I was coaching everybody through, kind of like the Korean lady did me. I was coaching them through moving through the courses, and they were like, wow, this isn't as bad. But the moral of the story is, and the purpose behind this dream was that the impossible is possible. Whatever you want to achieve in your life, whatever it is that you have your eyes set on, don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it, because with God, all things are possible. All we have to do is release the dead weight, let go of any baggage, any extra weight that's holding us down, any burdens that we need to release, lay them all down so that we are of a light body and we're able to ascend and move to the next level with ease, okay? With ease and with courage and not with fear, okay? Because a lot of times we get stuck at a certain level because we're afraid of the challenges and the obstacles that we will face when we get to the next level or the next phase in our life. And so I truly believe that I had that dream because I was beginning to doubt my abilities, and I was beginning to doubt myself, I guess, subconsciously. I was subconsciously beginning to doubt myself. Like, can I do it? Can I reach, X amount of subscribers on YouTube? Can I deliver messages or, that will help people transmute energy and ascend, hence tea, free tea, okay? I was starting to doubt that. I was starting to become a little bit discouraged subconsciously. And so I really feel like that dream was meant for me to remind me that with God and with confidence and with courage and with strength and determination and willpower, that all things are possible. So never let anybody tell you that your dreams are crazy, your dreams are wild, that, oh, you can't do it because only X amount of people have done it. Nothing. All things are possible. And not only are all things possible, but the race is obviously not given to the swift, because in the dream, I was the last person. I was the last person to go through the course. They had left me. They were gone, okay? But I was the first person to make it to the top in the dream. So not only are all things possible with God, but the race is truly not given to the swift, but it is given to those who endure and who press through, that wins the race. So that was my little bit of tea today. I hope it can encourage someone. If you are going through a time in your life where you are starting something new, where you feel like you're starting from scratch and everybody and their mama seems to be bypassing you, it's okay. It's okay, because the race isn't given to the swift. The race is given to those who endure until the end. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. The impossible is very possible. I'm sending you guys nothing but love, light, blessings, and good vibes. Until next time, peace.